Hi, my name is Gina Rodriguez. I am the Cultural Affairs Manager for the City of Providence in the Department of Art, Culture, and Tourism, and I am the recipient of the 2020 American Express Emerging Leader Award. Thank you, Americans for the Arts and American Express, for this opportunity. First and foremost, I want to thank my parents, Virginia and Juan Manuel Rodriguez, for always encouraging my creativity and pushing me to develop my craft. I was raised in this beautiful family, which really taught me about intergenerational and intercultural connections. And the values that I learned from my parents, grandparents, siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins are the foundation for my practice, both as an artist and as an arts administrator. I also want to thank my partner and my little ones for being vessels of support as I hole up in my studio writing or have those nights and weekends at work. Thank you. I also want to acknowledge my colleagues at the Department of Art, Culture, and Tourism. Thank you. Thank you so much for making this job fun, for all of the laughter, and for all of the ways that we've committed to struggling together in the moments that are more difficult. I really appreciate you. And of course, I want to thank all of the artists, activists, and cultural bearers in Providence who we get to work alongside and be accountable to every day. Thank you for the work that you do in the world. Since receiving the Emerging Leader Award, I've been reflecting on those who have really influenced the trajectory of my life. I've been really fortunate to learn from incredible Black and Indigenous practitioners across disciplines, none of whom I don't think would identify as a, quote, leader in the arts. But nonetheless, they taught me about what leadership is. They taught me that leadership is not about following someone ahead of you in line, or that it's about creating a hierarchical construct wherein you need to become or aspire to become someone else. But rather, that leadership is really about making sure you're honing your craft in the ability to hold space and in being accountable to and taking care of the people immediately next to you. From them, I learned that leadership is about understanding that there are folks behind you on whose shoulders you stand and folks in front of you who will be thriving in the world that you have imagined and built for them. And so this idea and this practice of understanding intergenerational space, of understanding collective growth, collective strength, collective agency, and our collective future is really what leadership means to me. And this is what I hope to continue to cultivate in my practice as an artist and as an arts administrator. I'm really feeling inspired these days. I am super inspired by the moment that we are in and by this insurrection against the carceral state, and also by the weight of this seismic cultural shift created by this pandemic. You know, coronavirus showed up and she was not messing around. She brought us to our knees and made us pause long enough to have to contend with the inequities that have always been in front of us. And for all of the grief and destruction that Corona has caused, this pandemic has also gifted us an opening and a calling in of our role and our positionality. Which side are we on? As government workers and local arts agencies, we are being asked, what side are we on? You know, I've often heard, or we often talk about how local arts agencies exist in order to unify communities through the arts. But unity is not enough. We have an obligation as government workers in the arts to do our part to dismantle that which has caused harm. Right now, we are being called to, and we will be held accountable to, the ways that we support our artists and our communities on the front lines who are building the world that is coming. We are here right now to support this cultural shift and this systemic shift. So I invite this year's conference to share in my excitement for what the future holds, and especially for the ways that our frontline artists of color are imagining our collective future. May all of the participants of this year's conference have a wonderful time, and I look forward to connecting in the year ahead. Thank you again, and take care.